It is complete course project. Please learn them in order. It is part 3, lighting. Okay, now we want to light our scene. So lighting is really important. If you have model any complex shapes, so it's not look real. So if you have light something, even ordinary people can love your works. So lighting is really important. Before we start lighting, you want to set the camera view. So I will click spacebar to split my 4 views. So I drag this one to, I want two view. One thing is perspective, another thing is camera view. So I will split this view, click this button. So go to rendering and click this camera, create camera, press R and scale your camera, so it will automatically place in our scene. So go to panels over here, perspective, and choose camera and click and drag your camera far away. So see here, our camera will be moved when I navigate this one. So I will minimize my outliner. So see here I cannot able to see our wireframe. Go to shading and choose wireframe and shader and press 6 to see the texture over here. So then you want to set two things. Go to view, camera settings, and choose overscan, and then go to view, camera settings, and choose resolution gate. So it has 960 × 540. It's too high for our basic render. So when you start lighting, you want to keep your height and width is relatively low. So go to render settings, in common tab, go over downside. Here you have two options, renderable cameras. I want to choose my camera 1 because it's my renderable camera, and here you want to choose presets to 640 × 480. It's enough for when we start lighting. So press close. So I want to set my constant camera view over here and select the plane, ground plane, and scale much more. You cannot show the edge of our plane, so I will scale high. So now this is my constant camera view, so I cannot able to move. I do not want to move this view so anymore. So go to view and choose select camera. So the camera will be selected. Go to channel box and layer editor, select all the values over here and right click and choose lock selected. So when you lock select your attributes, you cannot able to move the camera anymore. So this is what we want. Now we want to set our light. Before that, we want to turn on mental ray. So mental ray is our render engine for this scene, because I have some bounce light over bounce comes over this LED part. So I want to set my render engine as mental ray. So go to render settings and go to render using and choose mental ray. Sometimes it will not came here, so that means you want to enable in render settings, plugin manager. Go to window, settings preference, and choose plugin manager. Here you want to enable Maya to MR. Check this two option and close. That means when we go render settings, it will available here. Choose this one. So once close and reopen, so it will update it. Okay, now I want to render our scene what we have default. So I click render button. So I want to select this view and click render button. So this is what we have in default. See, I will not set any light in our scene, but we have lighting shown up because in render settings here we have in common tab render options, you want to disable this enable default light. So I will click this one and click render again. So now you cannot able to see anything in render because I will disable the enable default light option. So that means we want to set light manually. Okay, first of all I want key light, so click in rendering spotlight, so it will automatically created on our grid. Scale this one big. Now I want to see through the light. Select the light, go to panels, perspective, look through selected. So that means you will able to see through the light. So I will move the light. See here, when I navigate my scene, the light will be moved because we enable this option, look through selected. So you want to press 7 in keyboard to view the lighting mode. So see here, I will click and drag much more. So I want to cover the whole plane over here. So go to panels, perspective and choose perspective. See here, we have that light set over here. So I will scale much more like this. Okay, so click here and click render button. See here, the lighting is too bleach. So this is an dark scene because I want to show my LED glow effect over here. So that means you want to set key light to very minimum amount, and then defaultly the shadow will be enabled in latest versions. See here, it is 2016. So in 2016 the shadows are enabled defaultly in all lights. So I want to disable the shadow and reduce my key light intensity. So I will select this object, select the light, go to attributes editor and reduce my intensity to 0.1. so it's very low, and then go downside. In shadows tab you want to disable the use ray trace shadow. So I will open my render view to click this button. I will click this button to keep image for our comparison. Click render button. So now you compare. So see here, so our scene will be now reduce light much more. So now I want to reduce this specular color and reflectivity of this object over here in handle. So go close over here and then click this object, right click and choose material attributes. That means you directly go to the material. So now I want to reduce the specular color for this object. I reduce my reflectivity to 0.3. Now select the scene, click the open render view, click this one for keep image and click render again. So now you see it will lose lot of specular highlights. Okay, now we want to give some reflection to this surface. So before that, see here, when I go closer over here, click this view and click render button. So you will see what happened here in perspective. So in this case it doesn't look like a glass material. So because of we cannot enable ray tracing option. So if you have any glass material, you want to definitely turn on ray tracing for that material. So I will close my view. So I will select this one, right click and choose material attributes. I will go through the material. Here you have go downside. here you have the ray trace option. So you will expand this one, ray trace option, and turn on refractions. Now I want to give some more refraction, so I will give 1.3 something. So what it does for us, so it will bend the light and shows the glass material as real. So I want that. Go to render settings. So you want to enable in render also. Go to quality tab. So you want to turn on this show advanced settings. Here we have trace depth option. So go over here. So here we have this one, reflection, transmission, and maximum trace depth. So I will explain what this one. So in this case I have one reflection, one transmission, and maximum trace depth to 2. So that means when I go over here, I will open my render view. So I will click this view and keep this image for our comparison. When I click render, so see it will turns black. So I will compare this one. See here. So what we happen over here, so I will isolate this glass material. So I will explain. So now the light enters into the material. It has only one reflection, one transmission. So that means one hit the object and then report to the camera. So when you have any thickness to your material, so here we have top one layer, the thickness another 2, and bottom we have 2, totally 4 thickness to this object. That means 5th time I want to see the reflection in camera. That means you need 5 reflection, 5 transmission. So you want to increase the maximum trace depth to these 2 values sum. So you want to sum these 2 values. So that means 10. If you have some more objects in your scene, you want to increase the reflection and transmission amount. So I re-isolate this one and then click render again. So I will select this view and click render again. Now we have that glass material, but I want some reflections to see this glass material somewhat realistic. So it's very easy to do. Go to polygons tab, click on polyplane and click scale this object much more and scale very much more here. So I didn't want any divisions, so I will click and drag, press W and move upside. You want to scale high, so like this, press W and move up. So now I didn't want any cast or receive shadow from this object, otherwise it will block our spotlight over here. So I will select this object, go to attributes and go poly shape 1, so and disable this one in render stats, cast shadow and receive shadow. That means this object cannot cast any shadow or cannot receive any shadows. So I will apply some materials to this object, press R and scale much more like this. Right click and choose assign new material and choose surface shader and choose out color to pure white. So I will click over here and click render button. So now you see this area, see here you got that thin line reflection, so it's look so real. So I want much more up to here, so I will scale this object and click render again. So now you got for all these areas, so it's really nice. Then I want to click this object. So if you have any glass material, you definitely want to turn off cast and receive shadow. So because in nature the glass material cannot cause any shadows, so I will select this object and go to this object settings in attributes. So light outer glass shape 1 and disable the cast shadow and receive shadow. So now we want to set LED effects to this inner part. So go to rendering and click on point light. So press W and then move exactly in center. So go to top view, press 4 to see the wireframe. You want to place the point light exactly in center of the sphere. Go to perspective and move upside like this. Now I want to change my point light color to red. Now I want to give some decay rate, so otherwise it will infinitely flow the light. So I want to give linear decay, give intense to 10 or something. So now I want to check this one, so I will click this viewport. So in perspective I will check in close. See here it will cause lighting over here, but it will blocks that inner part. So I will select the inner part. So I will give comparison sake. So I will keep this image for my comparison and then select the inner part. So go the materials, so and increase the translucence amount up to 0.8 something. So I will click render. So see here it will increase my translucent amount. So I want increase my transparency too. So click render again. So you want to increase the transparency. See here we got lighting over here, so it's very cool, but it emits lot of light over here. So I want to reduce my point light intense less. So I will select my point light. I will reduce my intensity to 5. So I'll click render again. So now I want to turn on my final gathering. So go to render settings and configuration, in quality, go downside. You enable this legacy options, go downside over here. Here you have final gathering, so turn on, and then you want to give secondary diffuse bounce to 1. So now check your scene, click render button. See here it will increase my scene light high because it will happen by this plane. So select the plane, go to surface shader. So click this one, out color. Here we have HSV. So if you didn't get it, you want to enable over here. So hue saturation value, so I want to reduce this value to 0.3 or something, or 0.4. so that means your scene brightness will be reduced. So I will keep this image for my comparison and click render. So whenever you have glowing objects in your scene intensity will be low. So that means only the glow objects will be shown realistic. So I will compare. See, my scene intense will be reduced. Now I want to increase my intense more for this point light. So I will select my point light. I will increase my intense to 6. So I will keep this image for my comparison and click render again. So now I compare. See, it will increase much more. So then I want to reduce scene intensity little more. So I will select my spotlight and go over intensity. So it's 0.1. I will reduce 0.05 and click. I will keep image and click render again. So I will got very little lighting in our scene. So now go close over here. I will compare this one, the rope is nice or not. See here, it has reflectivity. So in nature the rope object cannot reflect anymore. So I will select this rope, go to right click and choose material attributes and reduce the reflectivity very less and specular color very less. So I will keep this image and click render button again. So now we got very cool rope over here. So now I drag this one. So now I want to make many duplicates of my point light. So I will select my point light, go to top view. So now you want to duplicate up to here, press Ctrl D and move this one to the sphere. So press Ctrl D and move this one to here, press Ctrl D, move this one to here, press Ctrl D, move this one to here. So you want to make exactly in center of that sphere. So you have duplicate and move over to here. Now we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 point light. So select our scene and click render. So we got our render. It's really cool, but I want to reduce little bit scene intense. So I will select my this surface over here, go to materials, right click and choose material attributes and reduce the out color little bit. So now I compare my keep image and click render again. So now I compare previous. See, it will reduce little bit intense for us. So now go over here, select the inner material. So go to the flickering hand red light group, select this light inner part and right click and choose material attributes. So I want to reduce specular and reflectivity for this object. I want to reduce little bit transparency over here. So I will enable it fully. So and then you want to increase the, so I will reduce the transparency. You want to increase the translucence amount high. Now select this one and keep this image for comparison and click render button again. See here, it will not looks real. So I will select this object and reduce my transparency level very low. So I will reduce my translucence amount very low. So and click render again. So now I want to reduce my point light values. So it's too high, I think. So I will select my point value, so to 3. So select each and every point light and you want to change 3. so it's too high, so I will change them into 3. So compare this one and click render. So I will select this part, so outer part. So here I will enable my translucence amount, so I will reduce my translucence over here. So I will increase my transparency full and reflective to 0.5 and specular color to high. So now I want to reduce transparency amount for this object, so I will click render again. So now I want to reduce the reflectivity and specular color to this object, and then I will select this object. I will select all point light and give decay rate to quadratic, so and give much more, so I will give 7 I think. So you want to give quadratic and give 7. So you want to manipulate for our final touch. So I will change all my point light into quadratic and change my decay rate to quadratic and change my intensity. So I will give compare. So I want much more, so I will select this one, I will double this one, so I will give 12. So I will select this one and give 12. So each and every point light I want to give 12. So in lighting, it's really important whenever you want to achieve our final thing, you want to tweak some values. So I will click render again. So I want much more, so it's not enough, so I will give 20 for my each and every light. So I will compare this one and click render again. So I will select my inner object, and then you want to reduce little bit transparency level, so I will reduce. So I will reduce little bit translucence. Okay, so I will click this one and render it again. So I got closer, but I want intense more for this point lights, so I will increase up to 2.5. So select each and every point light and change my intensity. So you cannot fix any constant values for our lighting purpose, so it depends upon our field. So I will compare this one and click render again. Okay, it's really cool, but I want to reduce my scene intense, so I select my point light, I reduce much more, so I will give 0.020. so I will compare this one. So see here, I have reduced my scene intense, so it will looks bright. Okay, so now I want to make another duplicate for this area. So for green light, so I will select all my point light in our scene. So I will control select in my outliner. So I want to drag them into this group. So I will select all point light. I will minimize my red light group. So hold middle mouse button in and so select all point light and shift select your group. I select all point light in my outliner, hold middle mouse button and drag to your group. So that means the all point lights are go inside our group. So that means you will able to select all lights and all objects in same group. So I will undo that, I will do it again. So I will select all point lights in my outliner, hold middle mouse button and drag them in that group. So all the point light will be set into that group. So see here, it's really cool. Now I want one duplicate for our green light. So press Ctrl D and move in X over here. I want something rotate like this, in Y like this. So I will select this group and rotate like this and press W, move little bit further. Okay, now I want to rename this group as green. So I want to rename as green light. So we have two groups over here. So now I want to adjust my camera. See here, it will not shows this area. So view, select cam and go to channel box and layer editor, select all the attributes, right click and choose unlock selected. Now I want to adjust this one for my two lights visible. So now I lock my camera. So view, select camera, select the all values and right click and choose lock selected. So that means you cannot able to move the cam. So then click render. Okay, I will forgot to change this color for here. So this one is green light, this one is red light. So I will go outliner and select my green light group and press W and move further this way. So now I go my green light group inside. So I will select my point light. So see here, I will select my point light over in green group. So I will go to attributes, point light shape, and I want to change them into green. So you want to do on all other point lights too. So now select this view and I will compare this one and click render again. Okay, it's really cool. See here, we have our green light set, but we need some reflections to this green light also. So I will select this one and scale, press R and scale them in high. So when you scale something here, it will affect our scene intense too. So go to surface shader and so this material attributes and reduce little bit much. So I will scale little bit high. Now click this view and click render again. Okay, see here, now we have cool reflections over here, cool lighting over here. So now we want to animate. Before that I want to remove some blotchiness over here. So I will keep compare over here. So I will take, go to top view. So go to top view and then you want to measure your scene size. So go to create, measurement tool and choose distance tool. So you want to measure the whole scene over here. So it will be 270 and go to render settings and choose. So in this case I have 270. If you have anything above or below this values you want to calculate that one. So it's my scene size, so it's depend upon the scene size. Don't keep exact value what I did. If you have 300 means you want to go through that. So you want to go final gathering tracing, you want to give final gathering mode to use radii control. So here you give this maximum radius to of your distance size. If you have 300, it want to divide by 10, you want to keep here to 30. In this case I have 270, so that means it's 10% of 27. Here you want to give minimum radius of this 10%, so that means 2.7. so keep it mind, it's really depend upon our scene size. If your scene size is come with some other value, you want to divide by 10 of your values. So I will close my render settings. So I will go my outliner, window outliner. So I will select my locator and distance dimension, then delete. So now I go to my render view and keep this image for my comparison and click render again. So see here, see it will remove lot of blotchiness over here. See, so I will zoom in, you will able to see clearly. So here we have lot of blotchiness before frame, so now it will clean that area. So this is what we want. So before we take render, we want to set animation and we want to change the width and height. So first of all, change our width and height. Go to render settings. Here you want to set sample level. So here we have see here overall quality we have set over here, and then you want to give some sample level. So it will be available in here. Volume sampling, you want to give at least 2 samples. So here we have overall quality and set to 1. So sampling we have that, and give volume sample to 2, at least to 2. Okay, here we have legacy options, and then you want to choose legacy sampling mode. So legacy sampling modes, it will set volume sample to 2. Here we have maximum sample level, you want to set this to 2, at least 2. So when you change in unified sampling to legacy sampling mode, so you want to change this maximum sample level to 2. So an anti-aliasing is enabled. So that's it. Now go to render settings. In common tab you want to keep renderable cameras as camera 1. In preset you want to give full HD, so HD 1080, so like this, and close. So now before we take render, we want to done 2-frame animation. So we did not do full animation in Maya, so we want to take only 2 frames and then comp into After Effects for full animations. So go to channel box and layer editor. So and then we want to set something. Go to render passes, go to window outliner. So here we have 2 layers. display layer, render layer. So I want to go to render layer. You want to select in first layer, you want to select all the objects and then all the light and all the camera into, click this last button into new layer. So it will automatically add to this layer when you click this button. So you want to select all the object and then click this button and rename this layer as color CLR. Now I want to add only the models. So go inside of our group, select all the mesh in your scene using control button. Don't select the point light. So I will select this one, control, using control, and choose the ground also and expand this. Don't select this reflected point surface. So I will go perspective. So don't select this reflected surface. So occlusion pass. So now I want to expand this group. You want to only select our mesh. Don't select the point light and click this last button. So and then rename this layer as OCC. So occlusion. So I will double click OCC and press enter. So see here in this layer we have only this mesh, no lights and no that reflected surface, only our mesh. So in this color pass we have all things enabled. Okay, now I want to set our animation in our color pass. So I will go very close, you able to see what I do. So I will in timeline you want to set just 2 frames. So click 2 and press enter. Here also 2. So that means 2. So that means you have only 2 frames over here, 1 and 2. So in first frame I want only the red point light enabled. So go to the red point light. So select the point light, go to channel box and layer editor, right click on visibility and choose key selected. So that means it's on. So you want to do all other point lights on in first frame. For our red light, right click and choose key selected. So you want to do for all 6 lights. So now I go to second frame. Now I want to set this visibility off. So select this one and press 0 and press enter, and then right click and choose key selected. So that means see over here. So in first frame it's on, in second frame it's off. So you want to do all other lights also. So select this second frame, select the point light 5, select over here, press 0 and press enter, right click and choose key selected. So you want to do same thing for here also. Select this one, 0 and press enter, right click and choose key selected, select this one, 0, enter, right click and choose key selected. You want to do same thing, select 0, enter, right click and choose key selected, select this one, press 0, enter, right click and choose key selected. So now you see in first frame all the point lights on, in second frame all the point lights off. Okay, so you check it 1 or 2 times. So now in first frame it's off in green light, in second frame it's on. So I will first go to second frame. So I will expand my green light group. So now I want to, in second frame, go to second frame, it's on. So right click and choose key selected on all second frames, all the point lights. So you want to do for all our point lights. In second frame it's enabled. So then go to first frame, select the first frame, and then select the point light to off. In first frame the green light should be off. 0, enter. Right click and choose key selected. So you want to give all other lights off in first frame. Right click, key selected. So select this one, 0, and press enter. So right click and choose key selected. So select this one, 0, enter. Right click and choose key selected. You want to do all other things too. 0 and press enter. Right click and choose key selected. So 0 and press enter. Right click and choose key selected. So key selected. Okay, now you check. So in second frame the green light should be on, in first frame off. See here. So in first frame the red light should be on, second frame the green light should be on, red light should be off. Okay, now you want to take render. Before that I want to set my occlusion pass. So right click and choose attributes. So go to presets. So sometimes it will not enable, so do it again. Go to channel box and layer editor, right click and choose attributes and choose preset and choose occlusion. So click this out color, this arrow, and give samples at least 64 pixels. In productions they will give up to 128, so it's too high when so our system cannot take that much render. So I will give just 64 and choose maximum distance to at least 5. So now I want to 5 and press enter. Now select the color layer, select the first frame. So select the camera view, hit render button. Okay, now I want to save this image. So before you save, in 2016 you want to give this one as a sRGB gamma, sRGB gamma, and go to file and go to file, save image settings, and choose. Here we have reset, means we have save raw image. We want color management image, so save color management image and apply and close. Now you want to save image as a targa. In your destination images folder you want to choose CLR1. So because this one is color pass first frame, so I will set CLR1 and save. So now you want to select second frame and select the camera view and click render again. So now we want to set this we want to save this image. Go to file and give save image option box. You want to check it out, save color management image and apply and close. Go to file and choose save image and choose CLR2, so color 2. So I will close this render view. Now I want to select my occlusion pass. So you will render either 1 or 2 frames. So because occlusion in first frame and second frame are same, so we cannot animate our camera, we only animate the object. So you will take any one images for our occlusion pass. So select the frame, any one frame, and select the camera view and click render. You want to choose occlusion layer and click render. So go to file and choose save image, and you want to choose targa and rename as occlusion. So this is common for both frames, so I will only rename as occlusion and choose save. So now we want to comp in After Effects in next part. Please click the below link to learn part 4 composition.